JBN, we keep you informed. Coming up in the news, man gunned down in St. James. Shooting at Cornwall Regional leaves two in hospital. Kwesi Hart pleads guilty for the 2016 murder of JC student. Bloomfield murderer accused granted $800,000 bail and lane dedicated to Shante Skiers at primary champs. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items. Man gunned down in St. James. The St. James police have recorded the first murder since a state of emergency was imposed in the parish last Tuesday after a man was gunned down at a garage in Montego Bay on the evening of Wednesday, May 8. The deceased has been identified as Chevon Montague of a St. James address. Reports are that about 5:30 p.m., Montague was at Zara Auto Body Garage along Barracks Road, Montego Bay, effecting repairs to his car when he was approached by two men who walked up and fired several shots, hitting him to the upper parts of his body. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police have not yet established the motive for the killing. On Tuesday, April 30, during an early morning news conference at Jamaica House, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced states of emergencies in the parishes of St. James, Hanover and Westmoreland after police and soldiers established checkpoints in the three parishes. Shooting at Cornwall Regional leaves two in hospital. A dramatic shooting which took place on Wednesday morning between construction workers at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay, St. James, ended with two workers being shot and injured, while another is on the run. The police say the victims are two construction workers of Kingston addresses. Both persons are said to be at the hospital in serious condition. "Me say, you don't think a Western movie we in a," one construction worker at the Cornwall Regional Hospital said. "All are we frightened and have to run for our life. The man just tell the man to be careful with the concrete bucket and the supervisor foot, and a peer bad word he start cuss. When he run off, all the way they take him light. But the boy heavy because when the boy come back, all the way have to scatter for his life. When we see the man come back with the gun and start pointing upon the man, you then swear see how the wild west." Reports from the police are that about 11:30 a.m., the construction workers who were employed to accompany carrying out repairs at the Cornwall Regional Hospital were working in the vicinity of the nurses' quarters when they got involved in a dispute. It is said that a bucket hauling concrete to the roof got loose and almost injured the supervisor. The 36-year-old victim cautioned the accused over the handling of the bucket. After being spoken to, it is said that the man got into a rage and ran from the compound of the hospital to a section of the Mount Salem community. He later returned with a handgun and opened fire, hitting the other man 7 times to his upper body. The other 24-year-old construction worker who was in the vicinity also received gunshot wounds. The man then ran from the site. Both injured men were taken to the emergency unit where they were treated and admitted in serious condition. Kwesi Hart pleads guilty for the murder of JC student. Kwesi Hart, the man who stabbed a 14-year-old Jamaica College JC student to death nearly 3 years ago, has been convicted of murder. Hart pleaded guilty before the start of his murder trial in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston yesterday. He is to be sentenced on July 5 by presiding Judge Lorna Shelley Williams. Third-form student Nicholas Francis died at hospital minutes after Hart plunged a knife into his chest during an altercation on a minibus on October 26, 2016. The killing triggered a national outrage, and 3 days later Hart surrendered to police investigators. However, according to evidence which prosecutors Keisha Knight and Atiba Dyer were prepared to rely on, Hart definitely refused to cooperate with detectives. "Me a bad boy, me not telling her nothing," one investigator quoted him as saying after he was formally charged with murder and cautioned. Prosecutors in their account of the killing said Francis and Hart were seated beside each other on the minibus that was heading towards Halfway Tree when the teenager blurted out, "Talk to him now." It was later observed that the convicted killer was holding onto Francis's wristwatch and the teen was trying to flash him off. A fist fight reportedly broke out, but the two were quickly separated by one of 2 conductors who gave Francis a seat to the rear of the minibus. Prosecutors say when the vehicle got to another bus stop located meters from JC, Hart took Francis's knapsack and tossed it out the door. It's reported that another JC student who was about to get on the bus picked up the book bag. However, prosecutors say Hart stopped him, asking, "How you so enough? After your bag?" When another passenger intervened and took up the book bag, Hart again grabbed the knapsack and threw it to the ground. According to prosecutor, this triggered a second fist fight. Francis was stabbed on the hand and in the chest as the conductor tried to separate them. Bloomfield murder accused granted $800,000 bail. Simeon Anthony Sutherland, the 20-year-old man charged with the murder of Member of Parliament Dr. Linvale Bloomfield, was today granted $800,000 bail when he appeared before the Portland Parish Court. Sutherland was given strict reporting conditions and ordered to reside at a particular address outside of the parish. He was ordered to surrender his travel documents, and a curfew order was also imposed. The bail application was made by attorney at law Peter Champagny. Champagny told the court that he will be pursuing his case to get the matter transferred from Portland to the Circuit Court in Kingston. He has previously indicated that he does not believe that his client would receive a fair trial in Portland given the notoriety of the deceased. Bloomfield, who was serving his second term on a People's National Party ticket as MP for East Portland, was found with multiple stab wounds on the morning of February 2 by his helper at his Passy Gardens house in Portland. Detectives sent several pieces of evidence, including 2 knives and a bloodied vest, found along a pathway for forensic testing. Sutherland, who was initially picked up a few days after Bloomfield's death, was interrogated by the police and later released. However, a breakthrough was first made on the morning of February 25 after scientific evidence linked Sutherland to the crime scene. Additionally, police investigators said that one of the knives recovered at the crime scene was bent, which probably explains why a second blooded knife suspected to have been used by the killer was found. The police theorized that the second knife was used to continue the vicious attack on the MP. Lane dedicated to Sh00ting skiers at primary champs. Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport Olivia Babsy-Grange yesterday announced that the lane that was reserved for Sh00ting skiers in the 80-meter race at the 2019 Institute of Sports Primary School Track and Field Championship will not be filled by any other athlete as mark of respect to the slain Red Hills Primary School pupil. Grange made the announcement at the National Indoor Sports Center as she officially launched the 39th edition of the meet. She said a red rose and a picture of Sh00ting will also be placed at the starting block. The 8-year-old girl who was slated to face the starters in the Class 3 girls 80-meter dash was murdered recently. It is really sad and unfortunate that we'll never again get the opportunity to see this young dynamo sprint towards the finish line. She was a promising young sprinter, but more than that, she was a child with immense potential, commented Grange. My friends, we have to redouble our efforts to protect our children and other vulnerable groups in the society, including the disabled and the elderly, the minister continued. The championships will be contested for the first time in 3 regional championships in an island-wide format: Eastern, Western, and Central. 10,000 seats to be added to the National Stadium. The capacity of Jamaica's National Stadium is to be increased by 10,000 seats as part of an upgrade that will also see a new royal box being added. To this end, the government has signed a contract worth $30 million with APEC Consultants to ensure that the project is properly researched before construction begins. This was revealed on Thursday by the Minister of Sport, Olivia Babsy-Grange, who also announced that the Sh00ting Multipurpose Stadium is to be upgraded with several additions, after which it will likely be named the Usain Bolt Stadium. Grange was speaking during the launch of the Adidas Racers Grand Prix at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Grange said the contract is for the development of financing proposals for the redevelopment, expansion, and upgrading of these 2 national facilities. It will bring the National Stadium and the Sh00ting Stadium up to first-world standards as we ready ourselves for the development of sports and entertainment events, which are critical components of nation building, she said. The minister said the consultant should present her ministry with a business plan by September, as well as the architectural design for the 2 facilities. The National Stadium upgrade will see a state-of-the-art anti-doping facility added. Most of the stadium will be covered, while the bleachers will be semi-covered. We'll also have small conference rooms and facilities to have small events so that the stadium will be constantly in use because the facility will be available for rental, not just for major events, but for smaller activities, Grange pointed out. She said the Trelawney Stadium will have a cricket academy and a running track. It's strategic that we're putting in a running track as it is located in the parish of Trelawney, where Bolt is from, and we have a consent that we're discussing with a certain individual about the name of that facility once it is a state-of-the-art facility, said Grange. The upgraded Trelawney facility will also boast a modern basketball arena, state-of-the-art gym, baseball diamond, and many other facilities. Grange said the Trelawney Stadium will be promoted as a center of sports tourism in Jamaica. So I'm looking forward to September when we will all have the details and we'll be able at that time to indicate over what period the development of these two facilities will take place, and we will be in a position to bid for international events. The National Stadium, which was opened in 1962, has a capacity of 35,000. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.